Hey, welcome to the best episodes of Credit 101. This is episode 9, where we're going to talk about how you guys can boost your credit score fast. So, I have something called 60 points in 60 days, where we go over really buckling down on all of these different things I'm going to go over so that you guys can get 60 points in 60 days. And this is what I personally used to do, and I still do too. When it's time for me to apply for something, I go through this list and I go over this worksheet now that I created for you. This is something I would just make sure that I go over just to make sure that I have everything in order before I apply for something. I just hate when people just apply for things and they don't make sure their credit is the best. And then they wonder why they can't get approved for things. Okay. So make sure you guys look at this different worksheet. If you guys are in the course already, thank you so much. Download the worksheet down below and actually do this. Every time you about to apply for something, actually go over this worksheet to make sure that all your things are in order. And if you guys do not have the course, it's the Credit 101 course. It has over 200 plus videos. It also have over 40 downloadables where it's going to be dispute letters that a person created for this course. You have worksheets, checklists, and guides. So definitely check it out. Now let's actually look at the first two things that you guys need to go over. And I'm going to give details as to why you guys need to go over these two things and make sure they're in order. Some people just think that they can just apply. Again, you don't want to do that. You want to be calculated. Now, the first thing is make sure you guys pay all of your bills on time. So, paying all your bills on time is going to be very, very important because it's 35% of your credit score. Okay. The thing I always tell people to do is make sure you guys set up automatic payments and reminders for all your bills. And not or two, you can do either or. I have it on worksheet, but if you want to be very strict like I am, you want to do both. I have automatic payments for the minimum payments on all of my credit cards. That's one of the basic things that I do. I have all automatic payments for the minimum payments on all my credit cards. I have the utilization sheet that I showed you all, and I have available for you guys too. You guys can be able to search utilization sheets on YouTube. You should be able to find the link for that. Let me know in the comments if you cannot find it too. But I have all my credit cards in order in terms of like the due date. So I'll know exactly what's the due date for all of them. And I go in there and make sure all of them are paid. So I list my credit cards multiple times because my biggest thing in the past was late payments. But I was stupid with it. Like I would have the money to pay it. And I'm like, I can't pay the whole thing. So I won't even pay the minimum. It's like, girl, pay at least the minimum. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. Like, I really don't, honestly. But this is years ago. Now I don't mess around though. Also on my budget, my credit cards are also on my budget. So I use my credit cards to pay all my bills. I'm not using my debit card for anything. I use my credit cards to pay all of my bills, and then I have all my credit cards on my budget, and then I rotate them depending on what's going on. And when I say rotate them, I use them for different things because you get 2% back on this one, you might get 5% back on that one. So I use different credit cards for different things. So I just know when they're due, I just go in there and I pay the statement balance. Even though the minimum payment is already going to be there, I go in and pay the statement balance. And I like to do that like in the beginning of the month, or sometimes, say if I'm like that at the end of the month, I'll go in and pay everything for next month because I know it's going to be due anyway. All my statement balances are there. Like my last credit card that I have due for my for me personally is my Apple credit card, and that's like on the 30th. After that credit card statement come out, I'm going and paying everything for next month already because it's just easier for me to do it that way. And I have it within my budget, and that's on a spreadsheet also. So I just go down the list, make sure everything is paid, and I highlight it. And I copy. I have a spreadsheet, and I actually copy that spreadsheet to the next month, and I turn everything back white. And then I go in. Once you see it highlighted blue, that means it's going to be technically paid. That means I didn't paid it already. And that when a credit card is highlighted blue, that means I didn't paid the statement balance. Minimum payment to me do not consider a payment. I don't consider that as a paid for bill unless I know like I messed up or something. Like you don't have the money for it. And I'm never trying to put myself in that situation. But I literally make sure that it's highlighted blue when the statement balance is paid. Minimum payment to me is not payment because you're paying interest on the credit cards, and I don't want to do that. If you do have late payments, then definitely want to look into some goodwill letters on Rickita.com. I do have late payment removal letters that you guys can definitely get. If you guys need help with goodwill letters, that's to remove the late payments, definitely let me know. But payment history is going to be very, very important. So if you got late payments, please remove those late payments, and also just make sure everything is set up on auto pay. If you have not done this yet, like literally stop, pause the video, and just set up auto pay for everything. And it's so easy too because they use what's the plaid plate, whatever you call it. They use that for all of our to set up auto payments on all of our credit cards. So definitely make sure you guys do that. Now the next thing is lower your utilization. To me, y'all, this right here is so underrated. Like people don't think of how important it is to make sure that your utilization is very low. So your credit utilization should be 30 your credit utilization is going to be 30% of your credit score basically. Now they tell people to have their utilization 30% or below. I personally don't believe in that 30% thing. I believe in 5% when I'm applying for a credit card. The only way I would think it's okay to have a 30% utilization is if you got 0% APR credit cards, then I can see it. Okay. And now another time too, and let me say this too before I get into my whole spiel onto why this is important. Now I did have an instance where I had to sue a company and I had 0% APR credit cards, and I applied for credit cards because when I sue, I have to show damages, and my damages I cannot get approved for credit cards because of this account that's on my credit report. So in that instance, it did happen. Okay, that instance I did apply for something, but then I think that's a different thing. Okay, and you can still get approved. You might mess around and be like, why y'all give me a credit card? Why y'all give me a credit card? I was not supposed to get a credit card. You think y'all was gonna give it to me? I have seen you can get approved for credit cards where I think I had got credit cards at like a 50-60% utilization sometimes. But still, if you want the highest limit, you want to make sure you're going to get approved for this credit card, not just getting approved, but you want a nice limit, please lower your utilization. Is going to be very, very important. Now, to make sure you guys lower your utilization, you need to see what your total limits are. And you can go to me, my best thing is I like to just go to Credit Karma, or I really don't need to really go to Credit Karma because I have all of my things on my spreadsheet that is a utilization tracker so I can play with the numbers. So I just put what's my total limits on there. They'll tell me, hey, whatever my total limits of all of my credit cards added up, they'll tell me what that is, and then I'll plug in whatever my balance was, and I will get that from Credit Karma because Credit Karma is going to be the most up to date on that. I don't have to play the game of going to this website, all these different websites. I'll know what my balance is by just going to Credit Karma and just plugging it all in, and then I'll know the spreadsheet tell me what my actual utilization is. But if you want to know on your end, all you have to do is whatever your total balance is divide that by your limits, and then multiply that by 100, and then that's where your utilization is going to be. Again, I want that number at 5% or below. That's to me the best. But 30% can be fine. But guess what? If you pre-qualify for these credit cards, again, you could do that on my website, Rickita.com. I already told you you can get the goodwill letters from there. But Rickita.com, if you guys go there, it's a list there where you can pre-qualify for credit cards. If you pre-qualify for it, you can come back after they give you a denial saying, hey, we couldn't pre-qualify you. They're going to tell you why in the mail. And if they say, hey, you have high limit to high balance to limit ratios, they may say things like that, high utilization. If they say that, then lower your utilization and then go back and apply. But at least you'll know. Now, those are only two things. You have multiple things on this list. So definitely just follow all the different things that's on this list and don't overthink it. Like literally what's on the list is on the list. Do exactly what it says. And then once you do everything, I'm a highlighting person. I don't know. It just makes me so much happier just to highlight stuff, just to say it's done. Like, okay, I already did number one. Or I don't have any late payments, or I sent out goodwill letter. That's good. Okay, I'm lowering my utilization, already lower my utilization. That's good. Then I'll go number 3. Okay, I got number 3 done. Okay, good. Number 4, oh yeah, I already got that done. Highlight that. Good. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I said, okay, let me go and apply for credit cards at this time. And don't forget to, this sheet right here, it tells you more details, but you do have a checklist, which is on episode 2. So episode 2, you'll see the checklist, or it's going to be the best episodes of Credit 101. Episode 1, I created a checklist so you can just check it all off before you apply for credit cards or any type of accounts. Just check everything off. But I hope this is going to be helpful. Make sure you guys get the Credit 101 course if you don't have it already. If you guys have the course and you're watching me within the course, download it down below. Don't overthink it. Like, literally just print it out and do what's on there, and then call it a day and apply for the credit cards that you want. If for some reason you don't have the late payments off, you still got negative accounts, you can pre-qualify for credit cards without a hard inquiry. So don't overthink it. Let them tell you no. And if they tell you no and say, hey, these are the reasons, and you knew they wasn't done on here, it is what it is. Fix them. Then you say, okay, you don't like that, let me fix it. But you may mess around and get some credit cards, because that happened to me plenty of times. So definitely do that. And if you guys have any questions, definitely let me know. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.